Hey, what's up, guys? Just do a little response video to Arkham Reporter's video of Outpost Huwhyte. Why do we say Huwhyte? If you gotta ask, you know what I mean? Uh, but the point I'm making is, it was interesting in the video he had. He was talking about essentially the Anglosphere because the only one really that have any colonies, outposts left, right? Uh, But even there were nuances. I would say that me and Arkham in common, but probably with some others who are like us. We have family that come from the homeland of Europe. So I felt obviously he a much closer bond, but me as well with my grandparents, who I essentially adored as a kid, then grew up to look down upon till they passed away, and then only to realize that they were right about a lot of things much long after. I would argue there's a generational aspect also from when you grow up in an area where you're already a minority, okay, which Arkham and I did. The city I was born in, I was a minority there by the time I was an early teenager. Okay, if you look at New York from the 70s to the the mid 90s, this shapes a lot of how you feel. Okay, in some ways it makes you more comfortable around multiculturalism. Okay, yeah. Talk about counterintuitive. At the same time, you're also more aware than the generic uh, Huwhytes of your outpost about how important these things are. Okay, it's kind of ironic that our politics or a lot of stuff that we believe or like to see or historical opinions we have, ideas, revisions we have of things wouldn't really go with how we are. They do, okay, because you obviously the representation of things have been distorted, okay, narratives for now. But what I'm trying to get across is that we feel these things. We feel being outcast even here more deeply because ironically we don't have a problem with the one end of it, but we feel a closer bond, and we're aware of being separated from it more than the average generic outpost Huwhyte. Uh, by the way, I'm playing Space Invaders. Very different, but also very similar to the game that Arkham was playing. Anyway, to get to my point, there was always a feeling of that there were two kinds of Americans. Okay, I'm going to talk about America specifically. I don't know. You could say maybe this also has to do with Australia or South Africa or Canada. You have the Huwhyte, the lower class Huwhyte, that was the slave escaping into the wilderness and to fight, but also become more like the Indians. Okay, then you had the other one, who was almost really kind of more of an actual European, and never really feeling at home in America. But in some ways, being more European than even the Europeans. T.S. Eliot had mentioned that. Of course, T.S. Eliot went back to England after being born in St. Louis, trying to be more British than the British. One thing I'll add to make things even more complex or to make things even more confusing or troublesome, I'd say, is one of the unfortunate aspects of, as mentioned in Europe today. I'm gonna be frank. My grandparents, I remember as a kid in the early '80s, Germans, okay, telling me that the Germans were all gone. Okay, there's no real Germans left today. Okay, yeah, the wars did a number on my mom's family, but at least some of them survived. Right now, today, and as Arkham mentions, in modern day Europe, things seem more global, right? Things seem more like America. Americanization, okay? Even the other Anglosphere outposts have been thoroughly Americanized, okay? In a way that you wouldn't believe. Okay, the American ghetto, which used to be what? What was the American ghetto? American ghetto used to be a white working class area. Okay, less than 13% of the population chased off the greatest generation from our major cities. Okay, the only Huwhytes staying to fight that were the ethnic Huwhytes. Okay, while some members of some of this other group were behind it. Okay, but a cohesive ethnic identity, whether it was distorted or whether it was diluted or whatever, it was still there. There's that argument also, that people from the motherland laugh at the American ethnic. Oh, you're really an American. You're Americanized. You're not like us. But in some ways, you could argue that maybe they're closer to the source. Like they always say, Canadians, French Canadians, Americans in the South, they're more like probably the British, the French were back in pre-modern, modern days, or centuries ago, than the ones now. But a lot of that is because of Americanization. Americanization is probably the greatest evil this planet has ever seen. Okay, and that's saying a lot when you've had things like Bolshevism. Okay, Bolshevism never was able to do this kind of stuff, literally destroying and perhaps wiping out a whole group of people for good. Okay? Isn't that the bitter pill to swallow? But I've been all over the place with this vid, but I think I'm trying to keep bringing it back. Okay? I'm not even bringing up the generational aspects of it, but it seems like this American, generic American identity has been exported abroad. Its models of ghettos also to control the population. Its culture of lumpen as well. And it's just interesting to see that that's what's been exported. It's been a far greater destroyer, like I said, than even Bolshevism. I'm not offering any solutions. Oh, I'm getting my ass kicked here. Oh, man, that's it. Start again. It's just amazing. Once an American is more and much less like his ancestors in Europe, while a form of Americanism, which is not even, much of it not European, has been exported. Both models of control, of immigration, of urban crime, of a lumpen culture. It's been pushed to make every place like America. Okay, while the real American, or while a better American, is all but disappearing. Anyway, I think I've gone on long enough, but let's finish this. Come on. You're gonna invade. Oh, you eating my thing. Oh, look at that. Hey, this guy's not. You see, I'm shooting this guy. Looks like he's cheating. Or maybe this is another. Oh, I think we had a glitch there. All the better. You never know what glitches are coming up. You never know what's going to be coming. But their plans are way Byzantine, and they can't all succeed. Dare I say, I don't think they're going to succeed at all. At least, not what they were intending. Yeah. Any closing thoughts with this video? Yeah. It's a shame in some ways being cut off from your roots, even by the very language. There has to be something. There's something inherent. There's something still there. There's something that's still alive inside. I take after my grandfather more than anyone in my family. The man who was in the Eastern Front. The man who was very bitter. The man who was the toughest man I ever knew. Who I didn't appreciate until he was gone. As usual, I was taught not to appreciate it. Who I was taught to look down upon. Who I was taught to betray by this culture I lived in. Through constant propaganda through all forms of media for the vilest purposes. Well, anyway, it was just some music. So I'm a little older than Arkham, so I'm a little more bitter. So, but hopefully something will happen. Like I said, the future of Europe. If I thought Europe could be saved and renewed, that would make me happy. We shall see. And look at it again. Look at this. Okay, is it me or is it? I'm shooting these things and nothing's happening. I don't remember this in Space Invaders when you can't I can't shoot these things. Come on, man. They're invulnerable. That's not fair. Of course, it's not fair, man. Well, you think the world is fair? Oh. Yeah, look at that. I can't. They're indestructible. Did you ever remember that in Space Invaders? I don't. Well, I don't care. I'm gonna keep shooting to the. All right. 1978. Later.